Greetings, fellow cultivators. Welcome to Auto Nova. Remember to like and subscribe to support the journey. Today, we're diving into the story of what's the point of cultivating immortality if you don't have money. The moment he saw Xiong, Zhang Yu was also very stunned. When he sensed the information of the Grand Purity Talisman, he thought that using the power of this Tao seed would allow him to open up his own spirit realm cave dwelling. The result was that he and Xiong were sharing a spirit realm cave dwelling. Faced with Xiong's question, Jiang Yu couldn't come up with a decent reason for a while. He couldn't possibly talk about things like Tao seeds and feather books. After all, he had been in Kongshu for several years and spent so much time with Fuji. Jiang Yu gradually understood. His feather book was unique even among the potentials awakened by the evil gods, something Fuji had never even heard of. Even if he told other evil gods about this feather book thing, they would only think he was pulling off a brand new type of scam. Let alone Xiong right in front of him. So Zhang Yu could only stammer, "I don't know what happened either. I originally planned to go to Hammerheart Residence to study, but as soon as my consciousness entered the spirit realm, I sensed this place. By the time I came back to my senses, I found myself here." Listening to Zhang Yu's words, Xiong also fell into deep thought for a moment. She didn't doubt whether Zhang Yu was telling the truth. After all, this Grand Purity realm was definitely not a spirit realm grotto heaven that Zhang Yu could find with his strength and realm. Not to mention, as far as Xiong knew, Zhang Yu was completely a talisman idiot and a complete layman when it came to the various intricacies of the spirit realm network. Could it be related to bloodline? Because of Zhang Yu's bloodline connection with me, that's why. Or is it because of our bond? Creating a soul connection? Or perhaps it was the choice of the Grand Purity realm itself? One possibility after another surged in Xiong's mind, but she felt none of them fit, so she simply put aside her doubts for the time being. Never mind, Xiongpian looked at Zhang Yu in front of her, and a thought suddenly struck her. She said, "It might be a good thing that you were able to come to the Grand Purity realm." Zhang Yu asked curiously, "Where exactly is this place? What is it used for?" Xiongpian explained, "This place is called the Grand Purity Realm, a spirit realm cave dwelling left behind by a senior expert. A spirit realm cave dwelling is a personal virtual space opened up in the spirit realm. And the status of the Grand Purity Realm is extremely high. The owner of the cave dwelling has the highest authority here and can shield it from external prying and interference, even from true gods." Zhang Yu's eyes lit up. "So, whatever we say or do here, even true gods won't know?" Xiongpian nodded and continued, "I accidentally learned about this cave dwelling and spent a lot of effort to become its owner. Originally, this Grand Purity realm should only accommodate one person. I don't know why you came. But it's fine. You can also take advantage of the convenience of the Grand Purity realm to study and cultivate." Xiongpian pointed to the Taoist temple in front of them and said, "This Grand Purity realm was originally much grander in scale, with 4 paths to the east, west, south, and north, totaling 36 halls and 72 courtyards. However, with my current strength, I can only temporarily activate this central Grand Purity hall. Only by further advancing my talisman, cultivation, and spending a considerable amount of spirit coins to purchase spirit realm space to continue expanding this Grand Purity realm can I gradually restore the power of this cave dwelling." As she spoke, Xiongpian had already led Jiang Yu into the main hall. "Even so, this Grand Purity realm currently has a great use for you, which is time acceleration. Here, by accelerating your thoughts, you can achieve the effect of 20 seconds in this realm for every 1 second outside." When Zhang Yu heard this, he was delighted and said, 20 times time acceleration? He knew that the spirit realm services provided outside usually offered a maximum of 10 times spirit realm acceleration, and the cost was quite high, making it impossible for him to afford daily use. Xiongpian nodded and said, "I'll teach you how to bring external files in here, and then you can study here in the future." Xiongpian's fingertips quickly moved in the air, like a dragon and snake with a brush, drawing a red talisman that Zhang Yu couldn't understand. The next moment, the red talisman swam into Zhang Yu's palm. With a thought from Zhang Yu, the interface of his remnant demon eye appeared. Xiongpian said, "From now on, you can save the things you want to learn in your eye socket. After you come to the Grand Purity realm, as long as you activate this talisman, you can extract files from the eye socket to here." Zhang Yu immediately gave it a try, and extracted the engineering geology textbook he had studied today. The next moment, his hand flashed slightly, and a secret manual appeared. Opening it, he saw it was indeed the content of engineering geology. Zhang Yu suddenly remembered the various cultivation techniques he practiced and asked, "Sister, can I cultivate various techniques here?" Zhang Pianpian curled her lip. The spirit realm is a mental world, especially under 20 times acceleration. Your consciousness is accelerated 20 times, but can your physical body outside also keep up with this 20 times acceleration? With your physical body and spirit out of sync, how can you cultivate? Unless it's a pure cultivation technique that only involves your own spirit, and doesn't involve the physical body, spiritual energy, or anything else external, it might be possible. Zhang Yu knew he had asked a foolish question. If he could cultivate like this, he could have already done so with the 10 times accelerated spirit realm service outside. Zhang Yu thought to himself, it seems the biggest use of this place for me is still for learning knowledge. That's good. I'm lacking time to study many courses in the artifact refining department. I'll come to this grand purity realm to study from now on. I also wonder what kind of power the grand purity realm will have after this grand purity talisman is upgraded to level 2. Suddenly, Zhang Yu remembered another question. Sister, you said last time that if my consciousness is connected to the spirit realm, it's best not to use that dark cultivation technique. What about here? Can I circulate the mental cultivation method of the immeasurable heart inner Dharmakaya here? Jiang Pianpian nodded. The grand purity realm can shield external perception, so it's fine for you to circulate this mental method here. Speaking of this, Jiang Pianpian's eyes moved, and she thought, speaking of which, that immeasurable heart inner Dharmakaya seems to be a cultivation technique purely for training the spirit and thoughts. I can try to see if cultivating here has an acceleration effect. Jiang Pianpian had also seen this dark cultivation technique before, but she was simply too busy and never had time to try it. At this moment, with the 20 times acceleration of the grand purity realm, Jiang Pianpian simply sat cross-legged in the grand purity hall and tried cultivating this immeasurable heart inner Dharmakaya. In the blink of an eye, most of the night had passed. When Zhang Yu opened his eyes, he felt his thoughts racing in his mind, thinking much faster than before. And after cultivating for most of the night, his immeasurable heart inner Dharmakaya also broke through to level 20 in one go, gaining the effect of using one mind for purposes. It really accelerated. This 20 times acceleration of the grand purity talisman, plus a pure mental cultivation technique like the immeasurable heart inner Dharmakaya, plus the effect of my feather book leveling up after a certain number of cultivations, stacked with the increased cultivation efficiency of the great learning saint body technique. Zhang Yu's spirit was invigorated. Under this multiple stacking, I was able to raise the immeasurable heart inner Dharmakaya from level 11 to level 20 in one go. Should I try other mental methods? But after thinking for a moment, Zhang Yu realized it wasn't very meaningful. The main reason was that his current mental methods, whether it was the remnant ox sacrificing body and mind art or the immeasurable heart inner Dharmakaya, were already the strongest mental methods he could learn. Even if he learned other mental methods, he wouldn't have the opportunity to use them. Moreover, many mental methods involve the physical body, or spiritual energy, or Genki, and other external factors. There aren't many mental methods that can be accelerated for cultivation in the grand purity realm, and those that can are also ones Zhang Yu doesn't need. If I really need to use them, I can just spend a night cultivating here. The biggest effect the grand purity realm will have on me going forward is still learning. Feeling his current state of being able to use one mind for purposes, Zhang Yu smiled slightly and thought to himself, one mind for purposes, plus 20 times acceleration, isn't studying here for one day equivalent to me studying alone for 80 days before? Zhang Yu knew his learning ability wasn't particularly strong, but with this 80 times learning efficiency, he believed it would definitely be more than enough for him to study the courses in the artifact refining and civil engineering departments. Turning his head to look at Zhang Pianpian beside him, he saw that his sister had also stopped circulating her mental method, and said with a smile, it really is useful. I've advanced the immeasurable heart inner Dharmakaya by 7 levels. It seems it won't take many days to push this cultivation technique to level 20. Zhang Yu secretly clicked his tongue when he heard this. With so many things blessing me, it still took me several days outside to raise the immeasurable heart inner Dharmakaya to level 11. Sister, just relying on this grand purity realm. How long has it been? And she's already advanced by 7 levels. Jiang Pianpian looked at Zhang Yu, feeling increasingly emotional. First, the loan of 50 spirit coins allowed her to unseal the grand purity realm early. And now this mental method of the immeasurable, hard inner Dharmakaya, which can greatly improve the efficiency of her studying and researching talismans. No, not just studying and researching. Multiple thoughts running in parallel allow me to cast talismans with multiple efficiency in the spirit realm. This is an incredible enhancement. Whether I'm fighting others in the spirit realm or earning money, my efficiency will increase to much from now on. Thinking of this, Zhang Pianpian let out a breath. Little brother, you've really helped me a great deal again this time. Zhang Yu smiled. Between us siblings, of course we should support each other and move forward together on the path of immortality. Jiang Pianpian paused slightly upon hearing this, then nodded seriously the next moment. You're right, on the path of immortality, you and I will climb together. The next moment, Jiang Yu exclaimed, oh no, what time is it? He checked the time and thought, I've missed the communication time I agreed upon with Ajin. Ajin was taking exams all day yesterday, and we agreed to discuss her final exam results tonight. Watching Zhang Yu hurriedly go offline, Zhang Pianpian smiled slightly, and continued cultivating the immeasurable, heart, inner, Dharmakaya. Inside the dorm, Zhang Yu's consciousness slowly returned to his body, and he felt something cold and soft sitting on him. The next moment, when Zhang Yu took off his spirit realm mask, he saw Yumulin sitting on him. And Yumulin, who was originally sitting with her eyes closed and breathing, immediately opened her eyes after feeling Zhang Yu's movements, and said to Zhang Yu, I saw you were in the spirit realm, so I didn't disturb you. Should we start today's magic power infusion? At the same time, Zhang Yu looked at Bai Zhenzhen's constantly flashing avatar. He pointed at Yumulin and said, you stay put obediently by the side. Remember not to make any movements or sounds when I'm communicating next, got it? Yumulin nodded obediently and sat down beside Zhang Yu. In the spiritual realm projection, Bai Zhenzhen was covered in sweat, radiating heat, and had a hint of fierce energy on her face, as if she had just gone through a major battle. Zhang Yu asked in surprise, did you just finish your exam? Bai Zhenzhen nodded and said, phew, I've only rested for about 10 minutes. This last exam started yesterday morning, and went on until late at night, spanning hundreds of kilometers. As she said this, Bai Zhenzhen paused slightly, then a helpless expression appeared on her face. The exam content involves military secrets, so I can't reveal it casually. Let's not talk about this. Zhang Yu's heart stirred upon hearing this, and he thought, the final exam at Heavenly Sword University. It seems like the final exam for the civil engineering department at Myriad Law University. Are they both preparing for a potential war? Bai Zhenzhen asked expectantly, how was your final exam this time? Did you beat that Ji Yuanshu? Zhang Yu immediately sent over a screenshot of the rankings, which made Bai Zhenzhen's eyes light up. She smiled with satisfaction. As expected of my good son, you did really well. A look of anticipation flickered in her eyes. Now, we're both one step closer to the top 10 competitions. Zhang Yu nodded slightly. He still remembered the agreement with Bai Zhenzhen to both make it into the top 10 leagues. Bai Zhenzhen said, oh, I sent you some more delicious food. It should arrive in the next couple of days, don't forget to collect it. I'll probably come to Myriad Law University in November for the flying sword competition. If you're free then, come watch my match. November? Zhang Yu thought to himself, the department's civil engineering competition is in December, so it looks like Ajin won't be able to watch my match. But I'm still just a substitute player right now, so thinking about this is useless. While Zhang Yu and Bai Zhenzhen were chatting, Lemulin obediently sat beside him. Watching Zhang Yu's smiling face, she thought to herself, Zhang Yu is talking to Bai Zhenzhen again, isn't he? Having lived together for over a year, Lemulin knew that every evening, no matter if Zhang Yu was studying or working, whether he was in the dorm or on the construction site, he would always set aside some time to talk to Bai Zhenzhen. Lemulin had long gotten used to this unshakable routine. She just didn't understand. Couldn't Zhang Yu complete the spiritual power infusion with me, while he's talking to Bai Zhenzhen? It would clearly save more time this way. Lemulin shook her head, about to close her eyes and meditate, but a message from her brother, Le Jingchen, interrupted her. Le Jingchen, I asked the professor. There should be no problem. She's very satisfied with your situation. Go for the interview tomorrow. Li Jingchen, this professor, is very experienced in the high-end pharmaceutical field and is a technical expert at the company. Follow her and learn well. Li Jingchen, especially the self-produced medicine technology. Your talent is very suitable for this area. Lemulin knew that the so-called self-produced medicine technology was the method of using one's body as a cauldron and spiritual power as fuel to refine ingested medicinal materials into various elixirs. Compared to the mass production route of building pharmaceutical factories and production lines, the self-produced medicine route, while not high in output, directly links cultivation with pharmaceutical technology. The higher the cultivation, the higher the grade of medicine produced naturally. Furthermore, unlike the mass production route, which requires building new production lines to manufacture higher grade medicines, every time cultivation improves, the cost is extremely high. After talking about the mentor, Li Jingchen brought up another matter. Li Jingchen, the company, knows about Xiong Yu's results this time, and is very curious about how he was able to defeat Ji Yuanshu. Li Jingchen, however, Xiong Yu's materials have been used so many times, and no results have been analyzed. Li Jingchen, the company, hopes to buy Xiong Yu's breeding rights and cultivate a batch of his offspring. Li Jingchen sound out Xiong Yu and see if he's willing. Looking at the message from her brother, Lemulin replied, it's probably difficult. He's always valued his breeding rights quite a bit. He wasn't willing to sell them, even on the first floor. Li Jingchen, just try your best. Persuade him if you get the chance. Holding on to these rights is useless. It's better to cash them out and use the money to improve his strength. Just as Lemulin was talking to her brother, Xiong Yu stood up and began to twist his waist, then started moving his body. Let's fight, Xiong Yu said. Zhen, do you remember you never beat me in high school? In front of Xiong Yu, Bai Zhen also began to move her body, her muscles radiating waves of heat. She smiled and said, Yuzi, the spiritual realm network conditions in your new dorm are good. The spiritual realm feedback is timely, and there's very little delay. It's perfect for me to see your current level. Remember to call me mom if you lose. The next moment, their figures suddenly overlapped, engaging in a fierce battle within the small dorm room. However, due to the spiritual realm network, their physical bodies couldn't truly touch. In the fierce battle, they would often separate upon contact, only competing in terms of moves. Facing a situation where he couldn't rely on the defensive power of his strong physical body, Xiong Yu immediately fell into a passive state, feeling as though his every move was seen through by his opponent. So he continuously pushed the power within his body, becoming faster and faster. Not only did he create sounds of breaking the air, but as his fists and palms exploded, he gradually caused sonic booms. But no matter how fast Xiong Yu was, Bai Zhen could always calmly keep up with his speed. And often, before Xiong Yu could even finish a move, Bai Zhen would spot a weakness, forcing him to continuously change his moves, and he remained at a disadvantage. If one of me isn't enough, then two of me will fight. Xiong Yu used the technique of one mind, two uses, driven by the limitless heart in her body. His left and right hands each unleashed different martial arts, simultaneously pressing towards Bai Zhen. At first, Bai Zhen was caught off guard, but soon her reactions caught up. Her sword fingers brought forth a sky full of electric light, breaking through Xiong Yu's attacks from his dual thoughts, one after another. So Xiong Yu pushed for the third level of thought, and the fourth level of thought. His hands, feet, elbows, knees. Every part of his body became a deadly weapon. And his attacks were unpredictable and without fixed form, as if four people were simultaneously using his body, making it difficult for Bai Zhen to understand Xiong Yu's moves for a time. But with the addition of 4 levels of thought, each level having different ideas, their attacks would hinder each other. For example, one controlling the right hand wanted to deliver a palm strike head-on, while another controlling the right foot wanted to push hard off the ground and dodge to the side. This contradictory and mutually hindering fighting style gradually made Xiong Yu himself flustered. And just as Xiong Yu was fully focused on engaging in a fierce battle with Bai Zhen, breaking through layers of sound barriers with his attacks, suddenly there was a bang. He felt himself collide with something cold and soft. Bai Zhen asked in confusion, Yuzi, what are you doing? Why did you stop? For the sake of the match. From Bai Zhen's perspective, she could only see Xiong Yu's human projection in front of her, but she couldn't see Xiong Yu's dorm, or his surroundings. But soon, as Xiong Yu disconnected the projection and turned on the camera, Lemulin's unconscious body lying on the ground appeared before Bai Zhenjin. Bai Zhenjin asked in confusion, "Is Lemulin sleeping?" Zhang Yu said helplessly, "I accidentally knocked her out." Bai Zhenjin urged, "Then what are you standing there for? Quickly check her body." Zhang Yu said, "I checked, her forehead is a little swollen. I've already used ice spiritual power to help reduce the swelling. Her breathing is very stable now. She should just be knocked out, it's nothing serious." Bai Zhenjin said, "I'm not talking about that. You hit someone, aren't you going to quickly take pictures for evidence and determine the extent of the injured person's damage? Quickly figure out her condition before she wakes up, so she doesn't try to extort you." Zhang Yu knew that Bai Zhenjin didn't have much of a relationship with Lemulin, but he felt he had a good relationship with Lemulin, and couldn't help but say, "No way." Bai Zhenjin said, "Haven't you heard of cases where a college student accidentally injured a classmate and was then extorted a large sum of money by the classmate who faked their injuries?" Fuji also said, "Zhang Yu, Bai Zhenjin has a point. After all, you are now a foundation establishment cultivator. When you move at high speed, you can easily exceed the speed of sound. It's inevitable that you'll encounter situations where you hit someone in the future. You really should learn the process of how to collect evidence and assess damage." Bai Zhenjin said dissatisfiedly, "Take off her clothes and check if she has any external or internal injuries. Even if she doesn't extort you, if she has internal injuries now, every moment you delay, the medical expenses will increase significantly, and won't that all fall on you?" Zhang Yu nodded slightly upon hearing this, thinking that Bai Zhenjin's words did make sense. If Lemulin was truly injured internally by him, then she needed to be treated quickly. So, urged by Bai Zhenjin, Zhang Yu first removed Mulin's outer clothing and pants, checking if her hands and feet were injured. Bai Zhenjin left arm, right arm, and her thighs. "Turn up the light. Shine the main light on her, otherwise I can't see. Don't worry, I've taken pictures for you. Her limbs are fine on all sides, no scratches at all. Now switch to a wide shot and get the impact marks around the area." Zhang Yu looked at the fair and tender Lemulin, lying on the ground, and couldn't help but say, "Isn't this a bit disrespectful to her?" Bai Zhenjun said, "This is the normal process for assessing damage after hitting someone. What's disrespectful about it? Can respect heal her injuries? Can respect save a few medical expenses?" Bai Zhenjun continued, "Turn her over and check if there's any damage to her stomach and back." So, under Bai Zhenjun's guidance, Zhang Yu turned Lemulin over. Bai Zhenjun said, "See that small bruise on her stomach? That should be the point of impact. I'll take a close-up first." "Okay, reach out and feel it. What does it feel like?" Zhang Yu said, "Very cold." Bai Zhenjun asked again, "Anything else?" Zhang Yu, "Very smooth." Bai Zhenjun said, "I'm asking you if her internal organs have internal injuries." Bai Zhenjun said, "Has your Wanfa University not taught any battlefield first aid knowledge at all?" Zhang Yu was surprised upon hearing this, then said enviously, "You guys have first aid classes?" Bai Zhenjun said, "Perhaps it's because major insurance companies currently refuse to insure our department." "Really? Let me project over. Give me full perspective permission, and then follow my movements." Bai Zhenjun's figure flashed, already projected in front of Zhang Yu. With the full perspective permission opened, Bai Zhenjun now appeared inside the dormitory as if she were physically present. She squatted beside Mulin and said to Zhang Yu, "Stretch out your hands and follow my movements." So Zhang Yu's hands and Bai Zhenjun's projected hands overlapped, gently sweeping over Lemulin's lower abdomen, helping her check for injuries. After a moment, Bai Zhenjun nodded slightly and said, "It's all right, not a big problem, just a slight damage to the internal organs. It's just a minor issue. Do as I say, and we'll fix it before she wakes up." Zhang Yu's fingertips overlapped with Bai Zhenjun's again, gently pressing on several spots on Lemulin's lower abdomen. Bai Zhenjun continued, "Didn't you say you have a surge of ice mana now? Inject it to help her freeze the wound." As the ice mana was injected, Lemulin's eyelids twitched and she slowly opened her eyes, feeling waves of coldness coming from within her body. What happened to me?" Lemulin frowned slightly. She only remembered messaging her brother, then suddenly there was a loud noise, followed by everything going black, and she lost consciousness. At this moment, in a daze, Lemulin looked at Zhang Yu, who had his hand on her stomach, and felt the mana continuously being transferred from him. She subconsciously began to accept it, just like the mana infusion every day in the past. Has the mana infusion begun? The coldness in her internal organs made her shiver, and she subconsciously reached out and hugged Xiong Yu in front of her. Seeing Lemulin wake up and hug Xiong Yu tightly, because she was cold, Bai Zhenzhen circled around the two of them, filming and nodding in satisfaction. Not bad, not bad. It seems her body is fine, Yuzi, now you don't have to worry about paying compensation. But Xiong Yu felt Lemulin squirming in his arms, felt her cold, smooth limbs brushing against him, and couldn't help but gently shake her, saying, "Stop squirming." Lemulin's brain, affected by the impact, was still a little muddled. She rubbed against Xiong Yu and murmured, "Not warm enough." Bai Zhenzhen said, "Didn't you hear her say it's not warm enough? Hurry and heat up, don't let Lemulin get frostbite." Xiong Yu was helpless and could only move his muscles to raise his body temperature to warm Lemulin. But feeling Lemulin still squirming in his arms, feeling his sweat and her body gradually sticking together, Xiong Yu found himself constantly getting distracted. Especially under the state of using 4 minds at once, the 4 layers of thoughts in his mind brought about 4 layers of distracting thoughts, like pressing down a gourd only to have the dipper float up, causing all sorts of distracting thoughts to flutter like snowflakes, making it impossible to calm down. Bai Zhenzhen reminded from the side, "Why has your posture for pressing the wound changed?" "Xiong Yu, when I was fighting with you just now, I noticed that your current thoughts are very active, your moves are wild and unrestrained, but they aren't connected into a whole, always lacking unified coordination. I don't know what caused this situation for you, but you must remember, no matter how your thoughts jump, they must be carried out with a single will. Otherwise, the more thoughts you have, the more they become like scattered soldiers, harmful rather than beneficial to yourself." Listening to Bai Zhenzhen's guidance, a flash of lightning seemed to suddenly strike Xiong Yu's heart. To be carried out with a single will. Scenes from the fight with Bai Zhenzhen just now appeared before his eyes. Yes, when using 4 minds at once, there must be a primary and secondary, otherwise they will contradict each other. In Xiong Yu's mind, ever since the limitless heart internal body was upgraded to level 20 last time, the originally roaring 2-headed white ox had already transformed into a 4-headed white ox. At this moment, as Xiong Yu's thoughts moved, he saw one of the heads suddenly expand and grow larger, seemingly becoming the main head, while the remaining 3 ox heads contracted slightly, guarding around the main head. Roar. Accompanied by a roar, the main head bellowed, "You are responsible for controlling the hand and squeezing the wound. You are responsible for circulating mana and maintaining the mana infusion. You are responsible for moving the muscles and heating the body. Me. I'll suppress the distracting thoughts." The changes in the internal cultivation method seemed numerous, but the series of changes in his mind were just an instant relative to the outside world. In that instant, Xiong Yu's using 4 minds at once underwent a qualitative change. It was no longer 4 layers of thoughts working together, but 1 layer of thoughts centrally coordinating, while the other 3 layers of thoughts each executed the tasks assigned to them. A moment later, although Xiong Yu still felt a few distracting thoughts surfacing in his mind, the large hand pressing on Lemulin was exceptionally steady, and the circulation of mana and body heating were no longer affected in the slightest. Lemulin felt Xiong Yu's steaming body like a furnace and gradually quieted down. A trace of realization surfaced in Xiong Yu's heart. This should be the correct way to use multiple thoughts. There needs to be a primary and secondary distinction between thoughts, otherwise they will affect each other and hold you back. Xiong Yu said emotionally, "Ajen, thank you so much for helping me break through a barrier." Bai Zhenzhen smiled slightly, waved her hand, and said, "Guiding my own son, isn't that what I should do? Also, the damage assessment process I taught you today, make sure you remember it. I'll send you the recorded video later. Study it well, so you can watch it if you hit someone again in the future. Time is about up, I'll be going now." Listening to Bai Zhenzhen's words and watching her disappearing figure, Xiong Yu imagined the content of today's recording in his mind, and cursed inwardly, "These Kunsha people are really. What do you treat people as? You've completely alienated them. So hot." Lemulin felt a burning heat from Xiong Yu's body temperature and was directly scalded awake. Seeing that Lemulin was fine, Xiong Yu said, "Are you okay now? If you're okay, get up." Lemulin stood up and asked suspiciously, "What happened to me just now?" Xiong Yu's face turned red, and he said, "You were knocked unconscious by me. But I've checked you, your body is very healthy, there are no problems." Lamulin's gaze shifted, and she glanced at her sweaty body, finding her outer clothes and pants on the floor nearby. At the same time, she felt the condition of her internal organs and understood that Zhang Yu had treated her with ice mana. She felt helpless inside. Zhang Yu checked my body and urgently treated my wound. Logically, I should thank him. But he was the one who hit me. Lamulin pouted helplessly. Don't make such big movements in the dormitory anymore. Zhang Yu nodded and casually agreed, but thought to himself, now that I've comprehended the true way to use multiple thoughts, from now on, there will always be one thought controlling the overall situation, and I won't easily make mistakes again. After school the next day. According to the agreement with Director Gao, Zhang Yu arrived early at a training room, in the civil engineering department. Nascent soul mighty expert true monarch, King Mu, has entered within 10 meters of you. Please remain quiet and do not project advertisements randomly. Soon after, with the emergence of the nascent soul domain, Director Gao, dressed in a Taoist robe, arrived in front of Zhang Yu. Without any formalities or greetings, Director Gao wasted no time, as soon as he arrived, getting straight to the point, and began teaching Zhang Yu. What I am going to pass on to you today is the first wonder of my civil engineering 7 wonders, the Xuanhuang Zhenyu seal. This seal is both the foundation of the 7 wonders, and is of great benefit to many large-scale construction methods in our civil engineering department. Director Gao extended a finger, and a ball of black gold mana suddenly appeared at his fingertip. This is the Xuanhuang key that needs to be condensed to cultivate the Xuanhuang Zhenyu seal. This key simulates earth fiend gravity. When attached to other objects, it can change their weight, making metal as light as a feather, and cotton as heavy as 1,000 jun. Zhang Yu's heart stirred upon hearing this, recalling the Heaven Kunlun mountain moving divine power displayed by Mo Shangjin, which directly controlled earth fiend gravity at that time, grasping everyone and everything on the entire flying boat from a distance in a single move, and bringing them down to the ground. Although this Xuanhuang Zhenyu seal cannot control earth fiend gravity, its simulation allows it to adjust weight. It truly lives up to being the foundation of the civil engineering 7 wonders. And in Director Gao's subsequent explanation, Zhang Yu further understood the difference between the Xuanhuang Zhenyu seal and the Heaven Kunlun mountain moving divine power. The Heaven Kunlun mountain moving divine power can be applied to people and objects from a distance, dragging and tearing matter at will. However, the Xuanhuang Zhenyu seal requires the Xuanhuang key to be attached before it can adjust weight. Furthermore, after the Xuanhuang key is attached, if the body resists with mana, the Xuanhuang key can be dispelled, making it difficult to take effect. Although it was much weaker than the Heaven Kunlun mountain moving divine power, it was after all the foundation of the civil engineering 7 wonders, so Zhang Yu studied it very seriously. Especially the ability to adjust weight, which is clearly very useful for construction on site, can further increase his work efficiency and raise his salary level. Naturally, Zhang Yu studied it more diligently. Director Gao patiently guided Zhang Yu through the cultivation route of the Xuanhuang Zhenyu seal once, then said, if the Xuanhuang Zhenyu seal is the foundation of the civil engineering 7 wonders, then the Xuanhuang key is the foundation of the Xuanhuang Zhenyu seal. However, this Xuanhuang key can only be condensed by manipulating the balance of yin and yang within the body and the changes of the 5 elements. It requires a lot of painstaking effort. Ordinary students can't hope to get started without several weeks, and even the top students of each class often need several days to get started. A few minutes later, after Zhang Yu clumsily completed the first circulation of the Xuanhuang Zhenyu seal's cultivation route, he knew that he had already learned this cultivation method. But of course, he wouldn't carelessly say that he had already mastered it. If I said it directly, God knows how Director Gao would look at me. Besides, it's rare to have time to spend more time with the leader. What's wrong with that? So next, Zhang Yu slowly made progress bit by bit, following the cultivation experience that appeared in his mind. Anyway, for him, as long as he circulated it once, there would be progress in the Yu book. As for whether the process of circulation was clumsy or excellent, it made no difference. 1 hour later, Zhang Yu asked, Master, this Xuanhuang Zhenyu seal is indeed very difficult to get started with. I wonder how long it took the fastest practitioners in history to master it. Director Gao said indifferently, I told you this cultivation method is profound and difficult to learn and master. It's completely normal for you to cultivate for a few days. As for those who got started quickly, the fastest took about half an hour. Even when I, your master, learned this cultivation method back then. It took about an hour. So after another 15 minutes, Zhang Yu condensed the first wisp of Xuanhuang Qi. In total, it took 1 hour and 15 minutes for the Xuanhuang Zhenyu seal to be officially mastered. Looking at the wisp of black gold mana at Zhang Yu's fingertip, Director Gao knew that the 1 hour he mentioned was slightly exaggerated, while Zhang Yu's 1 hour and 15 minutes in front of him was real. He thought to himself, the time I took back then was probably about 2 hours. This kid. Looking at Zhang Yu's gaze, Director Gao slowly nodded and said, not bad. The Xuanhuang Zhenyu seal emphasizes accumulation over time. Go back and cultivate diligently, and never relax even slightly. Looking at Zhang Yu's departing back, Director Gao took a deep breath and sent a message to Magnetic Pole True Monarch. Director Gao, guess how long it took my new disciple to get started with the Xuanhuang Zhenyu seal? Director Gao, 1 hour and 15 minutes. Magnetic Pole True Monarch, your disciple is truly amazing. Listening to Audio Nova. Zhang Yu left the training room, feeling the condensed strand of Xuanhuang Qi circulating throughout his body, his mind filled with various cultivation experiences related to this skill. In just the past 1 hour and 15 minutes, after repeatedly operating the Xuanhuang Zhenyu seal, it had actually been pushed to level 2 by him. Zhang Yu opened the e-book, turned to the chapter on chain law diagrams, and his gaze swept over the Xuanhuang Zhenyu seal. Is the chain law diagram set for the Xuanhuang Zhenyu seal called overturning Kunlun? Zhang Yu thought to himself. It sounds quite formidable. And since the Xuanhuang Zhenyu seal is one of the civil engineering 7 wonders, Zhang Yu strongly suspected that the remaining 6 wonders also belong to this overturning Kunlun chain law diagram set. If I could cultivate the civil engineering 7 wonders, combining them into the Heaven Kunlun mountain moving divine power, and at this overturning Kunlun set, heaven knows how much money I could earn at construction sites every day. Just thinking about it, Zhang Yu felt his heart surge with emotion. But the civil engineering 7 wonders combined only consisted of 7 skills, and sets often required 10 skills to achieve the final effect. Zhang Yu couldn't help but become curious about what the remaining 3 skills were. So Zhang Yu's eyebone flashed, and the great library of Wanfa University appeared before him. However, after a period of searching through many martial arts skills, civil engineering department skills, and large-scale construction skills, he still couldn't find a single skill belonging to this overturning Kunlun set. Zhang Yu couldn't help but think to himself, like the great sage's successor, I can't find the skills either. He remembered that the great sage's successor of the remnant ox body sacrifice art was like this. Besides the remnant ox body sacrifice art and the wild ox soul suppression heart sutra, he couldn't find any other skills belonging to the great sage's successor until he obtained the limitless heart internal body in the spirit realm, which then became the 3rd skill of the great sage's successor. In this situation, the remaining 3 skills of this overturning Kunlun set are either undocumented black skills, or they are military level ones, I can't find, or even immortal level skills. Thinking of this, Zhang Yu could only temporarily give up, understanding that this overturning Kunlun set, like the great sage's successor, was probably not something easily assembled. It seems that after I cultivate this Xuanhuang Zhenyu seal to level 20, if I continue cultivating skills, I should first develop towards the martial Dao Saint Body direction. The reason Zhang Yu chose the martial Dao Saint Body was based on his experience with the martial Dao Holy Embryo. During the key refining stage, this chain law diagram set should greatly increase skill power. As for his learning goals for the rest of his 2nd year, besides knowledge from the refining department, it was the study of large-scale construction skills from the civil engineering department. Coincidentally, some large-scale construction skills can also be used to complete the martial Dao Saint Body, and the martial Dao Saint Body's effect of increasing skill power can, in turn, be used to enhance the power of large-scale construction skills. Thinking of this, Zhang Yu had already made a decision in his heart. Next, he would first push the Xuanhuang Zhenyu seal to level 20, then start cultivating large-scale construction skills, and complete the martial Dao Saint Body along the way. This way, the University Saint Body is used for cultivation. The Earthwood Saint Body is used to resist harsh environments and withstand potent elixirs. Ki vein elongation is used to restore mana, and combined with formless warriors for precise construction. Once the martial Dao Saint Body is cultivated, it will be used to complement large-scale construction. Like this, my civil engineering system will be very complete. There will be basically no project I can't handle, and my work efficiency and salary income will far exceed others. Thinking of this, Zhang Yu felt the civil engineering path beneath his feet becoming increasingly vast and bright. However, just after Zhang Yu exited the great library, he found that someone had appeared before him at some point. It was Talishan. He didn't know how long he had been waiting there, but upon seeing Zhang Yu, he smiled slightly and said, "Junior brother, it seems teacher has passed down the Xuanhuang Zhenyu seal to you." Zhang Yu said, "Senior brother, are you looking for me for something?" Talishan smiled and said, "Didn't I say before that I would prepare a gift for you? Given your potential, junior brother, you will inevitably need to study intermediate and advanced courses in the future. So I thought I'd get you a super membership for Yunxiu Academy. From now on, when you purchase textbooks or online courses at Yunxiu Academy, you can get a 20% discount." Hearing Talishan's words, Zhang Yu's eyes immediately lit up. He indeed needed to purchase skills and online courses, and even more than Talishan had anticipated, as the number of courses in the refining department far exceeded those in the civil engineering department. And various textbooks and online courses at Wanfa University were not cheap, especially those related to the three trump card majors. With this super membership discount, he could truly save a lot of money. At the same time, Talishan had already sent the super membership redemption code to Zhang Yu. "Zhang Yu, thank you, senior brother." Seeing Zhang Yu's delighted expression, Talishan felt slightly proud and thought to himself, Zhang Yu will continue to compete with Ji Yuanshu for first place in the class. Once the competition between the two sides intensifies, they will inevitably start studying ahead. Although this super membership isn't expensive, it requires certain permissions to obtain. For Zhang Yu, it's like adding wings to a tiger. From Director Gao's perspective, he is inclined to let him try for a military certificate in the future. If he succeeds, then he will be another capable member of our civil engineering department, and likely my colleague in the future. Thinking of this, Talishan felt even more strongly that it was right to win over the other party in advance. As for Gong Shujin, the talent he originally wanted to cultivate, Talishan wasn't really familiar with the third-place student in the class. Next, Talishan asked Zhang Yu about his cultivation of the Xuanhuang Zhenyu seal, offered some guidance based on his own cultivation experience, and then asked about the competition. Talishan asked, "Does Mazhuan still have you as a substitute player?" Getting Zhang Yu's affirmative answer, Talishan sneered and said, "It seems he's taken a side." Seeing Zhang Yu's bewildered expression, Talishan explained, "Mazhuan is a student from the faction of True Monarch, Ling Yu. True Monarch Ling Yu is the official director of our civil engineering department, but in recent years, as his lifespan is nearing its end, he's been busy making money all day, and doesn't manage departmental affairs much anymore. This time, Mazhuan preferred to keep Ji Yuanshu in the lineup, and didn't let you, who are ranked higher, play. He has probably sided with the peace faction. If you want to score higher than Ji Yuanshu in the competition's overall points, you probably need to switch to a competition team where you can play." Zhang Yu frowned slightly upon hearing this, realizing that if he continued to stay in Mazhuan's team, he would definitely not have a chance to play. Even if the competition team won a ranking, the overall points he would get as a substitute would be significantly lower than Ji Yuanshu's. But if he left the team, which team should he switch to? While Zhang Yu was thinking in his heart, Talishan, who was beside him, said, "I know there's another competition team that needs people. See if you're interested." Saying this, Talishan sent one person's information to Zhang Yu and said, "This is the team captain. You can add her as a friend." So after parting ways with Talishan, Zhang Yu added the other party as a friend. The other party was named Shi Huayu, a fifth-year student in the civil engineering department, ranked 38th in the entire department. "Shi Huayu, you must be fellow student Zhang Yu, right? Teacher Te told me about you. Are you willing to join our competition team?" "Shi Huayu, our team is strong and experienced. In this departmental competition, we're aiming to secure a spot in the top 10 and contend for 6th place." Hearing the other party's words and looking at her ranking, Zhang Yu was immediately moved. Although he hadn't participated in many training sessions when he was on Ma Zhuan's team, he knew quite a bit about the competition situation. In the civil engineering competition, only the top 10 teams can get overall points. The higher the ranking, the higher the overall points. and only the team that gets first place is qualified to represent Wanfa University in inter-university competitions. However, let alone first place, the top 5 spots in the competition each year are basically monopolized by teams composed of 8th, 9th, and 10th year students. Lower and middle year students are all competing for a spot in the top 10, vying for overall points. Xiong Yu had lurked in the competition group and seen many chat records, knowing that Ma Zhuan, Ji Yuanshu, and the others' goal was to secure a spot in the top 10 and contend for 9th place. Xiong Yu, after I've joined the team, can I play? I won't be a substitute, right? Xiong Yu was quite apprehensive about this situation and had to ask clearly before joining the team. Shi Huayu, of course. Junior brother, you're so capable, how could I bear to let you sit idle on the substitute bench? So Xiong Yu immediately decided to join Shi Huayu's competition team. In Ma Zhuan's competition group, Ji Yuanshu noticed that Xiong Yu had left the group at some point. Naturally, Ji Yuanshu was very concerned about this competitor of his. So he asked Ma Zhuan, did Xiong Yu leave the team? Ma Zhuan, yes, he left the team. Ji Yuanshu, do you know which team he joined? Ma Zhuan, I don't know, but any team with the strength to compete for the top 10 would have already filled their roster long ago. Ma Zhuan, the teams he can join now are probably not very reliable. Ma Zhuan, actually, it would have been better for him to stay here, at least he could have gotten some overall points. Ma Zhuan, if he just joins a weak team, he probably won't get any overall points then. Ji Yuanshu nodded slightly upon hearing this. This way, it was equivalent to Xiong Yu already having a deficit in overall points, right, at the start of his second year, which was a significant advantage for him. Ending the conversation with Ma Zhuan, Ji Yuanshu lowered his head and looked at the circles of copper wire before him, as well as the idol in the center of the copper wire. He murmured in his heart, then let's begin. The ritual. Inside the simulation construction site, Xiong Yu looked at the 3 people before him and exclaimed, ah, just the 4 of us. Shi Huayu was a biological female, 3 meters tall, with fair skin and a sturdy build. Her thick and strong legs were purple gold in color, emitting a cold metallic sheen, clearly some kind of law body. But this little giant looked at Xiong Yu somewhat sheepishly at this moment and said, although there are only 4 of us, we are indeed. She pointed to herself very strong. Then she pointed to Che Yefei and Shi Yunxiang beside her experienced. Xiong Yu sighed, feeling that he had withdrawn from the team a bit hastily. However, he looked at the 3 people before him. Shi Huayu, being ranked 38th in the entire department, was very reliable in terms of strength. As for Che Yefei, he was in his 7th year. His head full of white hair and wrinkled face were typical features of a civil engineering master, indicating how high his physical development and potential realization were. He was very reliable in terms of both strength and experience. Shi Yunxiang, on the other side, was also not ordinary. As a 5th-year student this year, he had been working at various construction sites for the past 5 years as a demon-kin student, yet he always emerged unscathed, without losing a single piece of flesh, which also demonstrated his formidable nature. Plus me. Xiong Yu thought to himself, our team's strength is indeed considerable, we just need to recruit 2 more people. Xiong Yu looked at Che Yafei in front of him and messaged privately, Senior, how did you get into this team? Che Yafei smiled and replied to Lishan, introduced me. Che Yafei, Shi Huayu is to Lishan's disciple, did you know? Che Yafei, when I asked you before if you had a competition team, I wanted to recruit you. Che Yafei, don't look at this team not having all its members yet. Lishan will definitely recruit more people. Xiong Yu was slightly surprised, thinking no wonder Lishan introduced me, so he's recruiting for his own disciple. Xiong Yu then asked Shi Yunxiang, who was nearby, and the other party replied, both old Che and I were recruited by Lishan. Shi Yunxiang, his disciple, originally had a competition team, but because he had a conflict with the captain, he chose to withdraw and rebuild the team himself. Xiong Yu asked, what conflict? Shi Yunxiang, during training, Shi Huayu had a kidney ruptured by the captain. Shi Yunxiang, when assessing the damage, Shi Huayu demanded that the damaged kidney be completely replaced, or just use a log body, but the captain thought it could still be used after being repaired. Shi Yunxiang, Shi Huayu disagreed, feeling that a kidney that had undergone major repairs would still have hidden problems even if fixed, and insisted on getting a new one. Shi Yunxiang, the 2 sides couldn't agree on the price, and eventually went to court, so Shi Huayu withdrew from the team. Upon hearing this, Zhang Yu's heart tightened, and he inwardly exclaimed how lucky he was. Good thing I didn't cause anything to Lemulan yesterday. Indeed, as one's strength grows, every move must be careful. I can't become stronger only to end up with fewer friends. Zhang Yu asked again, what about his kidney now? Xiong, he gotta use ghost kidney. Xiong, the performance is fine. It's just that you can occasionally see the lingering regrets left by the previous owner. Using a ghost kidney. Zhang Yu thought it seems Li Shan's disciple isn't a particularly rich person. Zhang Yu, Che Yefei, and Xiong were all masters of the Foundation establishment realm, and their private messaging speed using iBones was also very fast, completing the exchange in an instant. Meanwhile, Xihuayu looked at Zhang Yu and said, Junior, you also help call for people, see if you can recruit some more team members. A moment later, Zhang Yu posted a message in his circle of friends recruiting competition teammates, which immediately attracted the attention of many people. Li Zhao, senior apprentice brother, do you think I'm suitable? Turning off the useless dialogue boxes one by one, Zhang Yu's eyes suddenly lit up the next moment. Tianyang competition emergency. Is there payment? Tianyang was the senior who accompanied Mr. Wang, with Zhang Yu previously in the underground tomb. So Zhang Yu asked Xihuayu, who was beside him. I found someone, a senior from the 7th year, but he might charge money. Xihuayu waved his hand and said, I'll talk to him, give me his contact information. Meanwhile, other students were still contacting Zhang Yu. Gongshu Jin, can I be included? Even as a substitute. Zhang Yu, how much will you pay? Yingzin, senior apprentice brother, can I come? Zhang Yu thought about the ashes at home and said, I'll try my best to save you a substitute spot, but you know the rules. Yingzin, I understand. I'll pay the substitute fee. Li Zhao, transfer 0.0001 spiritual coins. Zhang Yu, little Li, I won't accept this money from you. Zhang Yu, you are different from others, focus on your studies first. In addition to the 6 official players on the field, the civil engineering competition can also register 3 substitute players. Because substitute players can also get comprehensive points, many teams capable of competing for ranks will sell the substitute player positions. Ma Zhuan's team was also like this before, but Zhang Yu didn't get any money at that time. Yu Xingyan, how much is a substitute spot? Zhang Yu, the price hasn't been decided yet, I'll discuss it with the team, and tell you later. Zhang Yu shook his head helplessly, thinking that the official players weren't even all here yet, but there were so many substitute players that he couldn't arrange them all. Just then, another figure stepped into the simulated construction site. Seeing the sudden arrival, Zhang Yu and the others opened the other party's Foundation establishment domain to observe. Foundation establishment master Zhao Qingshuan is within 10 meters of you, please be aware. This user's debt exceeds 10,000 spiritual coins, and he is unable to compensate for any losses he causes you, please maintain distance. With the arrival of the Foundation establishment domain, Zhang Yu and the 4 others suddenly turned their heads. They saw a man 2 meters tall, with dark skin, wearing a mismatched law body, slowly walking over. Looking at this man, and hearing about his debt of over 10,000 spiritual coins, Che Yafei felt as if the other party was a dead black hole, frantically devouring everything around him, as if even light was being swallowed. Che Yafei exclaimed in his heart, debt exceeding 10,000 spiritual coins? Is this guy a terrorist? This is a 10,000 negative. Xiong quickly backed away, shielding everyone in front of him, thinking why? Why can someone who owes over 10,000 spiritual coins still appear alive in front of us? Zhang Yu retreated behind Xiong, thinking, are we seeing a ghost? No, if a ghost owed this much, it wouldn't still be here. The man seemed already used to the tension of Che Yunfei and the others. He just looked at Xihuayu and said calmly to Li Shan, introduced me, are you still short of people? Xihuayu's eyes, however, lit up, and he looked at Zhao Qingshuan and said, everyone don't be nervous, although Senior Zhao owes a lot of money, he is not a dangerous person. Che Yunfei cursed in his heart, someone poor enough to be minus 10,000 spiritual coins isn't dangerous. Xihuayu said, he is the company's legal representative. Che Yunfei and Xiong inwardly thought, so that's how it is. Che Yunfei asked, again, you are a 9th-year student. Ranked 40th in the entire department. Why did you become a legal representative? Zhao Qingshuan didn't speak. Instead, Xihuayu explained, When Zhao Qingshuan was at a construction site in the wilderness, he accidentally fell into an ancient tomb and encountered an ancient cultivator trying to seize his body. Later, in order to regain control of his physical body, he found an opportunity to guide the other party into becoming a company's legal representative and taking on debt, which eventually scared away the ancient cultivator. Hearing Shi Huayu's explanation, Jiang Yu and the other two immediately looked at Zhao Qingshuan with strange expressions. Although Shi Huayu's explanation was simple, the three of them knew that there were many complex and exciting details involved, especially since the other party could still attend school normally now. Fuji commented, "The water behind this person is unfathomably deep." Shi Huayu said happily, with Senior Zhao and Junior Zhang joining, plus Tian Yang. "Our number of people is now complete." On the other side, after learning about the team's composition, Tian Yang also recognized that this team had a chance to compete for the top 10, and no longer talked about charging money. The 3 substitute spots were sold to Yu Xing'an, Gong Shujin, and Yingxing through Zhang Yu's introduction. The 6 team members equally divided the money from selling the substitute spots, each receiving 0 to spiritual coins. "The people are all here, the substitute spots have been sold, everything is finally on track." Shi Huayu touched his ghost kidney, and fighting spirit gradually ignited in his eyes, thinking inwardly, "Those guys. Just wait and see." After Tian Yang also arrived, they heard Shi Huayu say to everyone, "It's early September now, there are still 3 months until the competition in early December. Then we will train once a week from now on. Everyone knows the competition rules, right?" Zhang Yu nodded. "The civil engineering competition is a competitive sports event. When Team A and Team B compete, Team A first carries out engineering construction within the specified time, under the attack of Team B. Then Team B carries out engineering construction under the attack of Team A. Finally, the engineering completion and quality of both sides are compared." Jiang Yu commented in his heart, "Another rule that simulates a battlefield environment. In the entire competition, both sides' construction ability and combat ability will be tested." After Shi Huayu briefly explained the rules, they began allocating the positions for the 6 players. Just then, the perpetually silent Zhao Qingshuan spoke up and said, "This person." Zhao Qingshuan pointed at Zhang Yu and said, "He's only in his 2nd year now, which means he was just a first-year student a few days ago, right? Are you sure you want a freshman who just advanced from the 1st year to participate? If we kick him out, we can find a stronger student now, right?" Shi Huayu spoke up and said, "Senior Zhao, Junior Zhang is the top student in the class, and also Director Gao's registered disciple." Zhao Qingshuan said calmly, "So, he is particularly rich. If that's the case, I have no objection." Zhang Yu knew he couldn't remain silent anymore. He stood up, looked at Zhao Qingshuan, and said, "It's like this. I'm not a rich person, I'm able to be here mainly relying on my own strength. It's just that my grade level on exams limited my scores, preventing my rank and comprehensive score from fully showcasing my strength. Furthermore, I am currently in a state of rapid progress, and my strength will be even greater 3 months from now." Zhao Qingshuan said calmly, "Just talking is useless, our civil engineering department relies on doing. Let me test you." As he spoke, Zhao Qingshuan struck out with a palm, and violent dragon-shaped true ki surged out, raising dust everywhere, and fiercely attacked Zhang Yu. As this dragon-shaped true ki rushed towards him, every dragon claw, dragon tooth, and dragon whisker formed by the true ki was lifelike, and even every scale was clearly visible, just like a real giant dragon. Zhang Yu understood that this was because the true ki conductivity had surpassed 95%, allowing the true ki to transmit power, like one's own flesh and blood, with unparalleled control and destructive power. Bang! A formless warrior emerged, blocking the path of the dragon-shaped true ki, and punched towards the giant dragon. But the next moment, the formless warrior was torn apart by the dragon-shaped true ki, unable to even delay it for an instant. More formless warriors leapt out, charging towards the giant dragon like fighters who had cast aside life and death, but were crushed one by one in an instant. Facing the giant dragon descending from the sky, Zhang Yu let out a low roar, his muscles swelled, true ki surged, and as various cultivation techniques operated, he had already raised his strength to the extreme, then punched towards the sky. Amidst a loud bang, Zhao Qingshuan's expression changed, only feeling that his palm strike was like hitting a ball of cotton first, being continuously offset and pulled. After finally breaking through layers of true ki, it was like hitting an incredibly hard nail. The dragon-shaped true key was completely pierced by Zhang Yu's body and directly smashed into the ground. However, Zhang Yu himself stood on the spot completely unharmed. Although Zhao Qingshuan was far from using his full strength, seeing Zhang Yu so easily take his attack, a hint of surprise still appeared in his eyes. What a tough body. He nodded and said, I acknowledge your strength, it's no problem for you to be a defensive player. Just then, a formless warrior appeared beside Zhao Qingshuan. Zhang Yu chuckled and said, Senior, take a move from me too. The next moment, accompanied by the sound of a dragon roar, the formless warrior brought with it a power that Zhao Qingshuan was incredibly familiar with, and blasted towards him head-on.